Do you want to be effective as a Christian, fruitful, making a change in your life? Do you want to grow? Well, then this video is for you. And here we are recapping yesterday's sermon and bring it into application for your everyday life. We had Pastor Simon Ambler from C3 Lane Cove in Australia coming over, and he preached on 2 Peter, chapter 1, verse 2 to 9. That's where Peter is talking about how faith is at the center of 2 things. On one hand, it's the gifting side of God, like the overwhelming kindness and the loving kindness of God that just comes and showers His goodness on you, and a real effort to grow. The center that holds those things together is faith. I want you to have this framework in mind as I'm reading the text to you right now. I'm going to read from verse 3. His divine power has granted us all things that pertain to life and godliness through the knowledge of Him who called us into His own glory and excellence. Well, His power has granted all things that, you have everything that it takes to live a life that is good and godly because you know Him who called us to His own glory and excellence, by His glory and excellence, He has granted us to His precious and very great promises, that through them you may become partakers of the divine nature, having escaped from the corruption that is in the world because of sinful desire. Well, that's loaded. I mean, what it essentially means is that through Jesus, through knowing Him, God has invited you into His godly nature, into His glorious connection to Him. He has given you everything that it takes to live that life. It's a gift. Everything is there already. Now, for this reason, here's the connection, make every effort to supplement your faith with virtue, and virtue with knowledge, and knowledge with self-control, and self-control with steadfastness, and steadfastness with godliness, and godliness with brotherly affection, and brotherly affection with love. Whew, that sounds like effort, right? On one hand, we've got the gift. Everything is given to us. On the other hand, the gift takes effort. And at the center is faith. Faith goes both ways. That's the point. If you want to be effective as a Christian, your faith goes to both the gift that God has given you, everything that it takes, and now that you have that gift, let's use it. I can make the analogy with the bicycle that I received as a child at Christmas. Obviously, the bicycle had everything. It had everything that it needed for me to drive around. Now, that bicycle is only going to be effective if I sit on it and I ride it. That's the whole point with the gifts of God, is that you have to drive the bicycle. You have to exercise. You have to put effort in it. Like, you can get the fastest new running shoes. Chances are they're only going to be fast if you run them. So it is with the gifts of God. His grace, His forgiveness, His acceptance into a loving family, His power that you need for your daily life. Where are they? Well, they are accessible by faith. Faith sits at the center of both the gift and the effort of accessing it. And as we do that, we grow. We grow in so many awesome things. We grow in, our virtue. What is that? Well, having a decent ethics, I would say. Virtue with knowledge. Now that you know what is right, you can actually grow in knowing that. Knowledge with self-control, knowing when not to do certain things, knowing what to do. Then steadfastness, keeping the course on that. It's ever improving. Godliness, like now you start to have a character like the one God has. Godliness with brotherly affection. You start to love the people of God. And from that, brotherly affection with love, you start to love all people. That's unbelievable. But that is available to those who, by faith, access the promises that are given as a gift to us by God. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful week.